Welcome to today's MJ News Digest, September 13, 2020. Here are today's headlines. Arzutra Stans MJ, Moonwalking Duck, Express still loves MJ, Happy Birthday J5, MJ Estate Blunder, MJ 9/11 Myths, new podcast, and Tina Turner shoots Randy Jackson. Wow, okay, so first story from Indian Express. Indulge. British Asian singer Arzutra Stans speaks about her debut album Woo Power. I hope I pronounced your name right. The British Asian singer Arzutra Stans, who entertained the audience a few weeks ago, apparently releases her debut album, and she was asked the following question. What international artists inspire you and why? And she says, Michael Jackson inspires me for his perfection to his art. He was never afraid to perfect his craft. In a society where perfectionism is looked down on, I think an artist does need to be perfect. Perfection is what defines an artist, and Michael Jackson certainly perfected his craft. Thank you very much for that. Next story is from Sputnik. Cute duck moves just like Michael Jackson. Apparently this duck moves rhythmically and elegantly, in fact just like the famous Michael Jackson moonwalk. So let's have a look at this, shall we? Amazing. Okay, so the Express continued to love Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson interrupted his tour to spend time with sick children. This is another positive article by Callum Crumlish. You can follow him on Twitter and send him your love. Michael Jackson fans know all about the incredible humanitarian work the King of Pop did over the years with children and with sick people, and the star's philanthropy in '93 is being remembered when he visited Tel Aviv on tour. So this references a recent tweet from the Michael Jackson official Twitter. So we'll have a look at that. Where is it? Let's scroll down. You've probably already seen this. Here we go. In September of '93, Michael Jackson visited Tel Aviv during the Israeli leg of his Dangerous World tour. During a day of rest between two scheduled concerts, Michael spent his time cheering up cancer and transplant patients at nearby children's hospitals. The article then goes on to say, of course, this simply shows off just how dedicated Jackson was. Really nice of them to report that. So on your web, the Jackson 5 cartoon series turns 49 today. It's good to see the Jackson 5 getting some love and the Jackson 5 cartoon. Let's have a look at this article then. I did post this on Twitter. On this day in 1971, a Saturday morning cartoon starring the Jackson 5 premiered on ABC. Creator Motown Productions has two main goals for its fictionalized portrayal of the group: showcase their music and milk their superstar status, and they managed to do both. Apparently the roles of Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon and Michael, they were voiced by actors. The real siblings were too busy touring. Diana Ross did voice an appearance in the pilot episode. Each episode followed the group's various adventures alongside Michael's pet mice Ray and Charles and his snake Rosie. Berry Gordy and Diana Ross both put in an appearance in the first episode, although Berry Gordy was voiced by an actor. The group's only tangible contribution to the show were the live photographs each member took that morphed into their cartoon likeness during the show's title sequence, and posing for promotional photos that were used as posters and print ads to advertise the series. The show ran for about a year. They have linked the YouTube of the pilot episode, and I will link that in the description. Thank you for reminding us of that. Happy birthday. So last night on Twitter, the MJ estate made a bit of a blunder, didn't they? They put up a post about Michael Jackson inspiring fashion and creativity, but they used a photo of E. Casanova, and fans were not happy. About 40 minutes later, once the estate were alerted to their mistake, they changed the photo to one of Michael and Donna. Things got a bit ugly on Twitter yesterday, with fans turning against each other. Some fans were standing up for the estate, some weren't. Now, this isn't the first mistake that the estates have made. There was some talk last night that apparently there was a new employee looking after the social media, and they made the mistake, but really they should be hiring people that know what Michael Jackson looks like. Pearl Jr. also got on the act on her latest video and claimed that it wasn't a mistake, it was actually a death hoax clue. God. Anyway, let's move on to our next story, which is the Michael Jackson 9/11 myth. This has been reported on quite a few news websites. So this one says the 9/11 tragedy rocked the world, took the lives of 2,977 people, but instead of honouring those, they are looking at celebrities that narrowly escaped. Apparently, Michael Jackson was one of the stars who could have died in the tragic accident if it wasn't for his mother. The Billie Jean hitmaker was due to attend a meeting atop of the World Trade Center, but had overslept as he stayed up late talking to his mother and sister. Jermaine Jackson made the revelation in his biography. Thankfully, none of us had a clue that Michael was due at a meeting that morning at the top of one of the Twin Towers, he wrote. But apparently, well, I think it was about a year ago, Karen Faye addressed this in one of her tweets. And she said that there was a meeting arranged. It was something to do with Frank Cascio. He had arranged for someone to sell Michael Jackson an antique watch, but Michael Jackson had no intention of actually going to the meeting. So perhaps the truth is somewhere in between. But I think we're going to see this for every anniversary, every 9/11. Our next story is Moonwalking Boys photobomb BBC's live reporting in this hilarious viral video. Is it hilarious? Well, journalists are subject to a myriad of interruptions, and apparently this reporter, who was performing a piece to camera when two passers-by decided to moonwalk past him. I think it's a bit of a stretch to say this is a moonwalk, but see what you think. So the reporter Joe Tidy tweeted this. He also put it up on TikTok. We will watch the TikTok version. Congrats to the sneaky lads who ruined my reporting shot. Here we go. Did you see it? Those two people walking backwards. Okay, so we've got a couple of podcasts coming up. We've got another Square One podcast by Not Conscious. Remember I mentioned this, or the first podcast a while back, really good with Taj and Jess Garcia. Amazing podcast. So they've got a new one to commemorate the upcoming anniversary of Square One. They will be interviewing, or they have interviewed, Danny Wu, and the podcast will be released on Friday, the 25th of September at 4 a.m. Eastern. Of course, it'll be available anytime after that for you to listen to, but there's something to really look forward to. Anything to do with Square One is great, and it's good to see Square One getting so much attention almost a year after. And the other podcast which is available now is Earnest Christian interviews Josephine Zoni, Earnestly Speaking podcast. My friend of 20 years, Josephine Zoni, joins the pod to talk working in PR, the Square One documentary, Michael Jackson allegations, and the MJ estate. It's a good podcast, really good chat, and I will link that in the description. So our next story, file this under tabloid trash. This is from The Sun. This is an interview with Tina Turner's personal assistant and confidant, apparently, who has revealed secrets. I'm sure Tina's going to be very happy about this, but it does make mention of a Jackson right at the end of this article. So let's scroll down, although by the headlines at the beginning of this video, you know it's to do with Randy Jackson. So what happened? Where are we? Oh, still going. Quite a big article. Okay, so apparently because of the abusive first marriage, Tina kept a shotgun in her bedroom. She threatened Michael Jackson's brother Randy with it when he visited Tina's house looking for his girlfriend. Randy was in such a rage he threw a potted palm plant through Tina's window. She shouted, "I left all that ghetto stuff behind me, I'm not having it." She grabbed the shotgun and warned him off her property. When he didn't move, she fired to make him go. Ooh. So this is something I found on Twitter. I thought I would just include this in here. This is from Konstantinos Isaias. Is that your name? I hope I pronounced it right. Who was walking past a weed store and saw this massive video wall with Michael playing. Look at that. I want a TV that size. I want a video wall. And also, I don't know if it's the quality of the cell phone or the video quality of Beat It. It looks really good, doesn't it? Anyway, great find. So our YouTube recommendation of the day is from the Honest Vocal Coach. Now, the Honest Vocal Coach obviously is a vocal coach, and she has had some Michael Jackson content before on her channel. Not enough, in my opinion, but this video is a podcast. So it's an interview that she's done, explaining or talking about Michael Jackson's voice. There's a few controversial things in here, particularly about how Michael kept his voice, or a theory about how he kept his voice. So youthful, but if you can get past that, it's a really entertaining listen.
Also, there are some live ones that you can get as well. He just sings that with such passion. Even as a little boy, he was interviewed and they stuck a microphone under his face, and he was so uncomfortable with interviews even back then. And he said, if I don't believe it, I don't sing it. That's what he said, and he meant it. There's something so from the gods and from the heavens inside of that guy's soul, or there was when he was alive, when it comes to music. Like, he felt it came from above, and that's what he used to say himself.
Yeah.
And that's it for today's MJ News Digest. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, because the best is yet to come.